Yeah, what is good, y'all? Malcolm McFadden, creator 615 Comics, and I'm back again with another episode of the Yo and Nerd podcast. This is episode 14, y'all. So please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Please leave a comment and argue with me about something I just said, and then subscribe to the channel so we can argue in the future. All right, y'all. So I'm this is kind of like a part 2 to 13 to episode 13 because I was out, like I told y'all, on 13. I went on vacation, work got crazy, and I got sick. So then a lot of things happened, so I had a lot of things to talk about. But I wanted to split these episodes up into 2 episodes because your attention span probably not that long. So with this next episode, I got kind of more topics just to talk about. Last one was kind of more like news and things like that. This one will kind of be more topics and things we can talk about. And we're going to start this off with top selling comics. That's what I want to talk about today. Top selling comics of August. All right, so every month I've been trying to do the top selling comics of each month, just like talk about what's on top of the board, what's popular out right now, and this is kind of a very good topic to talk about. Top selling comics of August. I should have already had this up, but here we are. But in this top selling comics of August, we kind of continue on from last month. And this month, again, we still have Absolute Batman in number 1, Absolute Superman number 2, and then we go to Amazing Spider-Man number 9. And then at 4, we have One World Under Doom number 6. At 5, we have Fantastic Four number 2. At 5, we have Fantastic Four number 2. At 6, we have Black Cat number 1. At 7, Ultimate Wolverine number 8. At 8, Captain America number 2. At 9, Uncanny X-Men 19. And at 10, Amazing Spider-Man number 10. Dang, 2 Amazing Spider-Mans made it in? That's wild. I think that also speaks to how popular Spider-Man still is and that people are still buying Amazing Spider-Man. You feel me? But with this list, we can see as DC and Marvel, of course, killing it with the Ultimate and Absolute universes, which are really selling right now. I think, which is Thor number 1 is here at number 34. There's a lot of different comics in here. X-Men, Imperials. I love that Battle Beast is still on the tops. But the Absolute and Ultimate universes are really killing it right now. You can see it all through, where at 12, 13, and 14 is Absolute Green Lantern, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Flash. And so I think what DC and Marvel has really done with these Absolute universes is great. It's giving readers a starting point to start on to a whole new universe that is actually continuing and going, that actually has places to go that people can see, hey, I can jump onto this and continue with this. Like we had Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther number 20 just came out, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think this is great. They're giving people another universe to jump onto. And this is kind of something I've been wanting. I've kind of been wanting them to actually with this, to have these other Elseworld universes, have these other stories that people can jump onto. So in the main continual, you could actually do things like kill heroes off, have heroes grow old and pass on their mantles and stuff like that, which I think with the popularity of these universes could get to a point where these universes could be that, where they actually get old, pass on mantles, and do things in these different universes. And then they're different stories, like they're not your run-of-the-mill Batman, run-of-the-mill Spider-Man. These are just different storylines that they're using and changing things from the characters. You feel me? Like Spider-Man, this is a lot older. They're doing a lot of different things with Vibranium in the Ultimate Black Panther. Absolute Batman, he isn't rich. You feel me? His mom's still alive. There's a lot of changes from that. Absolute Superman, he actually grew up kind of on Krypton and came here later on. So they're doing different things with the characters that keep them more exciting and more so for new readers to catch on and read them. You feel me? So I applaud what they're doing with that, and I hope they can do more with the main universe to where heroes pass on their mantles, or like I said, maybe they're going to do that with these new universes. You feel me? But I think this makes it easier for new comic fans to jump on, because there's always been this thing about manga being way easier to jump on because there's a start point. If you want to read, like I'm reading Blade of the Immortal. When I wanted to read that, I didn't have to pick which story arc and which writer I wanted to read. No, I started at number 1 and continued from there. And that's been great. Blade of the Immortal is good if you haven't read that. But seeing this top selling comics list, also I just love what they're doing with this Absolute universe and all that. And I also love that Battle Beast is getting popularity and continues to be at the top. I know Robert Kirkman already had Invincible, Walking Dead, things like that. But I love that, you know, he has another story that is now popular and in the top 50 of comics, top 20 selling comics each month. Each month is up there with DC and Marvel. Each time I think it's the only one outside of DC and Marvel that's in the top. Yes, in the top 20. Oh, and the Transformers at number 15. Transformers 23 is at number 15. But both of these are Image comics. But these are the only other comics outside DC and Marvel in the top, which I love that. And then Robert Kirkman has a bunch of great stories. Has a new story coming up, I think, called Skinbreaker that I actually can't wait for. But I love seeing that Battle Beast is getting hype and stores are buying Battle Beast and stuff like that. Which leads into another conversation I want to have about top selling comics. So, does this really matter, these top selling comics? I want to talk about it because a black writer for DC said in an interview, he said how they measure sales and stuff is kind of by the pre-orders of, and then like stores ordering books after that. So you like how many books the store orders and all that. So with that being said, like, of course stores are going to buy a whole bunch of Absolute Batman. Of course they're going to buy these things. So does that really, is this really a good metric to use to whether a comic is actually popular, or is actually just stores just buying this? Especially, this is more so a conversation not for Batman and Superman, stuff like that, but more so black superheroes and lesser known superheroes and stuff like that. Are stores not buying this out of fear that people won't buy them like black superheroes? Or are stores not pre-ordering a bunch of Black Lightning because they don't think they can sell Black Lightning, or customers won't come in and buy Black Lightning? I know that you're supposed to add these to your pull list and pre-order things, and I think that's what the writer was saying to help these books out. But somebody like me, I have a comic book store called Third Eye, which they literally get everything. There's not a reason for me to add things to my pull list or to order things on previews, because they already kind of get everything, and I already get all the indie books from like Kickstarters or their indie sites already. So it's not a reason for me to add Black Lightning to my previews, because I know they're going to get a good enough amount to where I can buy Black Lightning. You get what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if, like, when we don't see certain characters in the top selling comics, is because they're not popular, or is because stores don't think they're popular? And that's kind of a question I wanted to bring up. I wanted to see what people thought about, because if they're really measuring their sales off, you know, pre-orders and what stores are ordering, that could kind of skew, you know, the numbers in a way. And I don't think they would skew them too much. I still think the Absolute Batman and Absolute Superman are probably the top comics, selling comics, you feel me, and Amazing Spider-Man. I think those are some of the top selling comics still, but I think could it skew the numbers when we start getting to things like after the top 10? And that's kind of a question I wanted to raise and ask y'all. I'm posting this on TikTok and all the other ones. I'm gonna clip this up, you know, like people do nowadays. But I'm gonna do that and to see what y'all think about it. Please leave a comment on this video and tell me what y'all think about that. Okay, let's talk about Black Panther, when I mentioned it a little bit before, talking about Ultimate Black Panther, which has continued to be great. Issue number 20 just came out, where Black Panther kind of talks to Boss, and Boss fills him in on where vibranium came from and different things like that, and kind of, you know, puts T'Challa on a brand new trajectory. It kind of seems like T'Challa is going to be more of a hero for Africa and everybody, and that seems like what he's going to do. And it kind of seems like he has added abilities and powers and senses, which is pretty dope, and we'll see where that goes. But that's not what I want to talk about. Black Panther seems to really just, I don't know what's up with them, with Marvel and Black Panther and their issue with them. So, as you know, the Imperial storyline is coming out. They have the Imperial Black Panther. So, there's going to be a lot of stories spinning out of Imperial. The Marvel, if you don't know, the Marvel event that's going on right now, where it's like a galactic event where different kings and emperors and stuff like that out in the galaxy are being killed off, and people got to figure out why. All right, it's a big thing going on right now. So a lot of things will spin off of this. Like She-Hulk will get an ongoing She-Hulk will get an ongoing. Nova, I also believe, gets an ongoing too. And Black Panther won't be getting ongoing. He'll be getting a limited series, which is four issues for his After Imperial, where he's trying to get back the throne of Wakanda once again, which is like the same storyline they keep. It's like every storyline with the Black Panther is how he gets back the throne. He's fight for the throne. Like, just had this man doing some adventure stuff, doing some crime solving, doing something. But sorry, I'm going off track. But it just sucks because it seems like they have a problem with Black Panther. Why is She-Hulk and Nova getting ongoings, but the Black Panther is getting a 4-issue miniseries? Like, I'm not saying that they may not do something after this, but why is it only getting a 4-issue miniseries? Are you going to go back to bringing the main continual Black Panther story back? Because that has been also missing, you feel me? What are you going to do with that? Like, it just seems like in all different medias, kind of, they keep disrespecting T'Challa the Black Panther, and it's very weird. Like, I'm hoping that this miniseries is just about him getting the throne back, and then that leads to, bringing back his normal main continual series. Because I can see that happen, because She-Hulk and Nova, I can see after what happens from Imperials happens, and then they continue on with their storylines after that. Like with She-Hulk, she's now on Planet Hulk, kind of ruling that. I can see her continuing that. Nova, I don't know where, I can't remember. I still gotta read that tie into Imperials, but I think he's gonna be doing something on his own, you feel me? Where I believe the Nova Corp isn't there no more. He's the only one. So I think they're gonna do something maybe with him being like a hero or something like that continues. I can see both those continuing, but I don't see why Black Panther is just a 4-issue miniseries, why they get ongoing. You get what I'm saying? And it seems like they continue to kind of disrespect the Black Panther in a way. But like I said, Ultimate Black Panther is still good, and that is still going on right now. So definitely check that out. But that also leads me into a topic that I want to talk about too. I talked about this topic on the Blurred and Beyond podcast with those fellas. They're real dope. Check them out, the Blurred and Beyond podcast on YouTube. I think it's on all your streaming services like Spotify and all that stuff. But check them out. They're also on TikTok and Instagram. But we had a talk about do you think Black characters get the love they deserve, or the shine they deserve, or the respect they deserve? And most of the people were saying like no. Most of our answers were no, but we can see where they've tried to do more. And that's basically what I want to say, is that I see that they have tried to put Black characters more out there, try to do more for the Black characters. But every time they do, it kind of seems like it becomes backhanded. You give us the Black Panther live action, then he dies in the second movie. All right, you feel me? Stuff like that. And then just Blade. We can't even get the Blade movie off. It's like you give us crumbs of Blade, but we can't seem to get Blade off. Monica Rambeau, they said she was supposed to have a show after WandaVision, but she didn't end up getting a show. Everything, she got tied in with the other Marvels, and then since that movie, I guess, didn't do as good, they're not doing nothing with her now. It just seems like, and even in comic books, it's like they give us, like they do great with Miles. Let's leave Miles out of this. They've done wonders with Miles. They've done a great job with Miles, so we just leaving him out of this. They've given him that shine. But even with comics, like I talked about with the Black Panther just now, how he's getting a 4-issue miniseries while everybody else gets ongoings. Jace Fox Batman, we probably will never see much of him again. Duke Thomas, we don't really ever see him with the Bat Family for it. We very seldom see that. They give us these heroes and stuff like that are dope. Black Lightning, hope we get more of him. The Power Company, hope we get more of that. Like, they give us these heroes, little spurts of these heroes, and then like, yeah, this could go somewhere, and then never goes anywhere. You feel me? And then they always the things of money, all this. This comic wasn't selling, but then they'll put out other comics that literally don't sell at all, like the Peacemaker comic that just came out not that long ago that nobody was even reading that. Captain Marvel, her ass comes out with the comics now that nobody else should be reading. You feel me? So it's like they have given us more shine, but not as much as we should and as they could. Especially since we have shown, especially in live action, we've shown we will come out. We came out for Black Panther. We came out for Sinners, all right? Like, they could show, and that's not even comic book stuff, but we have shown that we would come out for things. Ironheart, we did more promoting for Ironheart than Disney did. So we've shown that we will come out for things. So I don't see why they don't give us more. And well, I know why, but yeah, they've done a good job of showing us more, but it's just not enough. They could easily show us more. You feel me? And that's just my talk on that. That was the dialogue I'm going to open up to everybody else. Please, let's talk about it in the comments. How do y'all feel about it? Do y'all just feel like they give black characters enough shine, or they're giving us more? Do you think they're giving us too much shine? Which definitely, that can't be the answer. How do y'all feel about this? Okay. This topic kind of takes it out of like the nerd fan realm and kind of goes into comic book creators and entrepreneur realm. All right, so as you know, I am a comic book creator. I am the creator of 615 Comics. Check me out, 615 Comics. Links in the description. But I have my own comic book company, and I'm seeing a lot of other creators come up in this problem, so I kind of want to talk about it because I've also had this problem, and kind of working with artists. Not so much finding artists, but working with artists. More so about payment and basically not getting scammed, just to be for real about it. So I've seen this problem. I've also had this problem with artists, and basically it's the problem where you pay an artist up front for some work, like a lot of work. You pay them up front, and then getting that work back after you pay them. Sometimes you get ghosted. Sometimes they work at the slower pace than they told you they could go. They come up with excuses, which sometimes is also real world problems, which also comes into what I'm talking about. Is real world problems that they go through. Sometimes it could just be excuses. Sometimes you don't even know if it is or not, because you may not even be in the same country as the artist that you're working with. So I've seen a lot where creators are getting scammed or just done wrong by artists, like paying them up front and not getting work back. I'm actually dealing with something like that very similar right now with an artist. And for me, kind of the solution to this problem, which has worked best for me, is to pay as we go. Pay like as we go. Like sometimes, like one artist, so I'll send him a deposit, like half of it, and then he'll do the work. And then once it's done, I'll send the rest of it. Other artists, they'll send me the lines that may just need to be inked, and I'll pay, and then they'll finish inking it, or I'll pay half and stuff like that. Or sometimes they'll just finish it. More times than not, the way I work is they'll show me the finished product, and like not high resolution and nothing like that, but a finished product, so I can say, okay, this is finished, and then I'll pay them, and then I'll pay them, and then they'll send me the high resolution. And that has been more of a way to work, and that I feel is better for me, and also helps me not get scammed or lose money or anything like that, and also builds up a relationship with me and this artist. And I like to work like that, because sometimes, like, even let's say the person really does have problems in their life and stuff like that, where they can't finish the work. I think this better way is to help it, because if they can't finish the work, then you haven't already paid them. You're not feeling spiteful because you paid them and you're like, hey, I wasted this money. Or you're actually gonna do the work. You're not trying to find them, or if they can't get in contact with you, it's not like a big thing because you've already paid. I think that's an easier way to go. I think it just helps your pockets as a creator, because I know sometimes artists don't want to do work and not get paid for their work, which I've seen artists do that too. But that's why I think this sending like a low resolution, or like Fiverr. You get artists on Fiverr, like you pay, but I believe the artist doesn't get the money until they finish the work. And then if they don't finish the work, you can get a refund on it if they don't finish the work. But they have their own system of securing that and make sure that happens. So I think just best way, if you're dealing with an artist directly and not through like something else like Fiverr, just to pay that person as the work is done. You see the work's done, you pay them, then you get the work. I think that's the best way to do it, and it will help creators like me, who I've also had a problem with that. And tell me if you have any advice, or other creators that have other ways of dealing with this and working with artists. Please put in the comments. Please let us know what you think about that, so we can continue this conversation to help creators and also help artists that are working with these creators. But I also want to continue this to talk more about creators. So this is going to be a creator segment right here. Comic-Cons, Comic-Con conventions and stuff like that. I had a conversation with a creator who basically asked me how I feel about Comic-Cons and going to them. Am I seeing other comic book creators there and stuff like that? Which they were asking because they are seeing a trend of where comic creators are going to Comic-Cons. It's more so if you're selling stuff like artwork for like DC and Marvel, or toys, like stuff like that, and plushies, or where comic creators, people who create their own comics, aren't actually going to these comic-based events. And that was their trend that they were seeing. And I've also seen where people are saying that, fans aren't really buying comics at these events. They're actually buying, other stuff. They're not looking for comic creators. And I'm also seeing people say that also these comic-based events are less about comics and more about other stuff, more like the big names, actors, cosplaying, and stuff like that. And I'm also seeing, just giving you everything I'm saying, and I'm also seeing that these Comic-Con events are way overpriced and they're not giving you enough foot traffic for the price that you're paying. All right, so these are a lot of things that I'm seeing for why comic creators aren't going to these events. And I'm also seeing creators saying they do great at Comic-Con events. So it's kind of, I guess you got to see, it's based on who you're talking to. But I would say that more people I'm seeing, more so than not, people are having bad experiences, like not selling or being overpriced or not seeing other comic book creators at events. So my tidbits on this, I haven't gone to a lot of Comic-Cons like that. I've gone to more so non-comic book based events, and I've actually done really well at non-comic book based events than actual Comic-Cons. Well, comic book based events I actually do pretty good at too, not gonna lie to you, but non-comic book based events, I'm pretty much the only comic book person there, and there people are surprised to even see somebody selling comics. And a lot of people are fans, but also people want to support and stuff like that. So I actually do very well at those events. But also comic-based events, I actually do well, but I also think it's about being engaging and, bringing people into your table, having a good pitch, and being able to talk to people. I think that will also help you at comic events. So that actually has worked for me. And also, I also understand the pricing, because some of these events be big price, and then you got to think about where you're going to stay. You got to get your stuff there, travel, things you got to think about too. So that could be another reason why people aren't going to these comic events. You feel me? But if you're also not saying you're doing good at these, I would say try non-comic book based events. Try those and see how you do. Some of those are a little bit cheaper, like flea market, stuff like that. I just went to a place called the Black Mall in Baltimore. That was great. It was phenomenal. I actually did really good. Met a lot of people, a lot of dope people. And that was really good. That was great. So I would say try non-comic based events, but I'm not saying don't do Comic-Cons, because those are where the fans are. Those are the people are. That's where you can network. And also, all these events, every event I do, I take the time to practice pitching. Practice, hey, can I sell this? How am I selling this? Do people like this? Is this a good way to sell? Different things. Each one is a way to learn and get better at selling my comic books. You feel me? So, I still got to do more research into these Comic-Con things that people are talking about. I am seeing a lot of creators having problems with Comic-Con. So if you're one of those creators, maybe in the comments, let's start up a dialogue, maybe things we can do to help, ideas we can do to help, or maybe starting more conventions, like creator-based conventions, stuff like that. We can talk about that. But please, I want to open up this dialogue to people. Please, in the comments, tell us if your experiences, your solutions. Let's just start this creator dialogue, this creator conversation. All right, so hit up the comments and let me know what you think about it. Okay, so last episode I did a lot talking about Batman, but I didn't give details that we know about the new Batman movie, because we had some details for the Batman movie, the sequel to the Batman with Twilight, Robert Pattinson. So, and these are the details for Batman number 2. We know they say it starts filming in April 2026. All right, and it'll also be out in 2027. They'll say Bruce Wayne is finding it very hard to be Batman, which I love that. I think this is going to be a dope storyline. I think also they're going to go into the Venom storyline. So they you saw Batman use kind of that drug, and if you know the Venom storyline where he kind of uses this Bane type thing to help him because he's so overwhelmed with how Gotham is going, and he ends up having to like stay in the Batcave for like months to detox from it. And when I saw that in that scene, I felt like that's where they were going to go. And with this news, I think they're definitely going that way. We're saying it's finding it hard to be Batman. I think he's going to be really struggling with Gotham. We may be seeing multiple villains in this movie. It says, takes Batman a direction never done before in this way. All right, and they all basically with that they also said that they would see, I think, a villain that you've never seen before. So stay on this. I'll give you this next one before I say that. Another murder mystery digging deeper into the corruption. This is Court of Owls. Taking Batman a direction never done before in this way. They said it's a villain that they've never seen before, digging into corruption. This is Court of Owls. They planted the seed. I think like Court of Owls and maybe Hush. One of those two is either the villain or both of those are the villain. Also, it says Penguin appears in 5 to 6 scenes. Sophia Falcone will not appear, and Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson believe it will top the first film. I think it definitely will top the first film, and I love the first film. I love that Penguin's going to be in 5 to 6 episodes, 5 to 6 scenes. You have to have him in it because the popularity of the Penguin. You definitely got to put him in there somewhere, and it's Gotham. And, you know, I can feel like Penguin could be the person that Batman kind of goes to kind of get some information, like keep his ear to the streets, kind of sort of, you feel me? So that could be dope. I'm telling you, I think this movie is definitely going in the Court of Owls realm. I think it's definitely going to be Court of Owls, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what they do with it, especially having this time off and then coming back and writing this brand new Batman film. I want to see where this Batman has grown since the last one, because we saw him kind of tinkering with things, trying to figure out. It was kind of like year 2 Batman. So I can't wait to see where they go with this Batman. So that should be dope. That should be crazy to see. So I'll keep you updated on that and see where we go with that. Okay, y'all, this has been another dope episode of Yo a Nerd. This is episode 14. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, yo. The channel is growing a little bit. I'm over 500 subscribers. So I'm trying to get more, likes, views, subscribers, and all that. So please like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends about me. All right? You can follow me everywhere. In the description is all my links to everything. You feel me? So follow me on all social media platforms, and I'm looking to get this podcast on Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Looking into that, so be on the lookout for that. But once again, thank y'all for watching. This has been Yo a Nerd. Peace.